Y'all, I'm waiting for the guy. You know what you got to do with the kids and stuff. Give me 1 second. You know, Mike, let me know how my volume is since you're in there. Mic check, mic check. Second. So a little distortion. Let me know what kind of distortion. So it sounds a little bit muffled. Oh, probably because I'm not close to it. Guess ain't much. I only ever had a wired one, which would be terrible for this. Sounds low. Yeah, because of the way it's facing. Well, I guess all that matters is you guys can hear me. I can't do too much about the sound. So I use one cam anyway. Well, thanks for joining anyway. So give me a second, guys. I'm waiting for the doc. He's getting it together. He's popping in and out. So you can kind of see my setup here already. Hold on, let me bring in the so you can see it. So it's actually dual cam. So you guys will be able to see me cutting here, right? And then when I cook, I'm going to maneuver this camera over towards the stove so you guys can see what's going on there. I have to look here to know what's going on both. So when I'm talking, I'll occasionally look left or right. So meanwhile, guys, while we're waiting on the doc to get in here, so I can start hooking up. For those of you who were on the live stream the other day, I told you guys I will hook up a vegan stir fry, and it's not as simple as just grabbing a bunch of stuff and throwing it in the pan. There's actually a method to it to get all the colors and everything to come up correctly. So you're going to see the method that I use for that. Also, another thing, which you guys also notice with some of the stuff I got here, I have the raw form which is nature's form basically, and then I have the dry form down here next to me too. So turmeric, right? That's something that you in certain occasions you'll learn it if you have anyone who's in culinary school, or if you ever take culinary school. You'll notice in certain occasions they'll tell you about using the live form of an herb and also the dry form of the herb at the same time for different texture kind of thing. So this is how it's going to go. So in the beginning, I'm going to start off cutting up everything differently, and I'm going to make piles of it down here. Once everything is cut and the piles are down here, we're going to transfer over to the stove area, and that's where I'm going to saute each individual thing first. Now, the only thing you guys don't see here is the broccoli, which is our green. So the broccoli, that's our green. We got lots more of it. And in case you guys know, there's a method to getting this to be a vibrant green color. I'm going to show you guys that too. I've seen it before. It's called shocking. So we'll do that. Is it okay to buy some fruits and veggies, not organic? Now, last time the doc spoke on this, he mentioned that you can get conventional fruits that have thick skin. But from my perspective, you should be aware of two things. Number one, fruits and veggies are not expensive if you get them from a local farmer, at least one that's not commercial anyway. And make sure you get to know your local farmer, because they might be using commercial practices, and you need to be aware of that. Another thing is when it comes to when you're talking about things being organic is kind of just a catchphrase. It doesn't guarantee anything. Like back when the organics first started hitting the shelf like crazy, you noticed that some things said organic and some things said USDA organic, and then some things said 100% organic. Because what can happen is you can grow the food organically and it get put on a truck with other foods and sit and drive past toxins and all kinds of different stuff. So by the time the food finally makes it to the market, it's already kind of been environmentally damaged, so to speak. So there's levels to the entire thing. Also, what you should be aware of is the way we're raised today, our perception of what food should cost is totally wrong. We have this belief that what we grew up on, feeding like a family of four with $110, and there's a bunch of Post and General Mills cereal, and ramen noodles. It's just a bunch of cheap made food. And what you got to understand is people who make a lot of money get the high quality stuff. And for the sake of recycling and not wasting things, they find a way to make more money off of the stuff left over. So that's where you get stuff like Spam and liverwurst and stuff like that. They try and find a way to take the less quality stuff, the stuff that's been sitting around longer, and trickle it down more and more towards the poor neighborhoods, because that's the level they can afford it on. The problem is at that point, a lot of the food's denatured. The nutrition value is, very low. If you got any herbs, the color's off. The smell is not that strong. So be aware of that. That answers the question too. So in terms of our color, we got our green, red, yellow. We got a little bit more green, but this is for heat. We got our onions, which I actually have an onion that I cut up earlier right here. And we have our purple. Then we have orange, which is our turmeric. We have more of a like a light yellowish color, but we're going to add a little bit of spice to this, more of an herb with the ginger. And then we have the garlic. Okay, so we got practically everything we need to make an official stir fry. We also have some other colors down here with our herbs and spices, our dry herbs and spices going. All right. So as we go through it, feel free to ask more questions. And I'm still waiting. Hold on, give me 1 second to make sure everything is all right with the doc. All right, so technical difficulties. Give me 1 second, just sending the doc a message. Right. So, another thing we got going on in the background is there will be a vegan mac and cheese kind of moving around making. It's not really for the live stream, but you will get to see the product. So I'll keep an eye on that at the exact same time. All right. So the first thing I want to start off with, let's get some of these knives out the way. Here's more of a, this is a bread knife, but let's cut it. Right, so we'll take that off. And usually when I cut broccoli, because it's got a bit of a rounded kind of thing, I kind of go in on an angle and work my way around, and that kind of helps break it apart. So it's number one. And you know, you want to break these down into more bite-sized pieces, so to speak. All right, that's one batch. Can major depressive disorder be cured holistically without SSRIs? I read also that gut health can cause mental problems. Yo, George, what's going on? Yes, gut health can cause mental problems. I think people underestimate the mind and stomach connection. You have to keep in mind your body from birth, it's like you're being given a huge bag. Well, you're being endowed, right? You're being given an endowment from your mother and from your father. So what happens is as you're inside of the mother's reproductive system, the nutrients are being built into you. So much is being given to you. And the better the mother takes care of herself, the more you'll receive, you know, natural birth, feeding off the breast, good nutrition, that whole thing. What that does is that builds up your bank, so to speak, which is your bones. And that's your reserve. So you have what you've been given, you have your reserve, and then you have your processing system, which is the gut. So if the food is being processed correctly, then what'll happen is your bank, your bone, will not get used. Hence, your body will stay healthier longer because really that bank is meant for, you know, hard times. You know, when your body needs to do something about problems, it has its own bank to kind of help itself out. So the way the American dietary system works, and you know, some of the toxins that are in the poor neighborhoods and stuff around the rest of the world, the issue that happens is when you're young now, you're eating so much sugar and toxins and, you know, bad stuff for yourself and being in bad environments and a whole lot of stress. At the same time, the nutrition is bad. So instead of your nutrition keeping your body up, your body's actually constantly pulling from the bank or the bones, so to speak. And then when you finally get up to a certain age where you're kind of physically capable of doing a lot on your own, you've already diminished the majority of your body's bank, so to speak. So now what happens, you continue eating and doing the unhealthy things, especially when you reach that 18 years old, have them college years where the drinking kicks in. So now we start doubling down, and the amount of activity you did when you were younger starts to go down. So you ramp up the negative dietary habits while at the exact same time, you're doing more things to damage your body. Then you start working. Sometimes the jobs people get make them lazier. You're sitting at a desk. So you're really doubling and tripling down on the problem. Eventually, that bank gets so low, things in the body are not self-repairing anymore, because not only is the nutrition not coming in the gut, there's no more left in the bank to keep you stable, so to speak. So what winds up happening is now systems start to suffer, and your body finds a balance within that loss of materials. So for a while you feel good, but slowly over time you start noticing little things. The little things you kind of ignore. Oh, you know, maybe it's just a little headache. You know, maybe it's just a little gas. You know, a whole bunch of different stuff you just kind of flag off. And then another 10 years go by, and then you're getting into your 30s, and then eventually in your 40s, and then you start getting pains and aches and stuff. You start blaming it on your age, when really it's everything you did before you reached that age. So now you're seeing the downfall of everything, so to speak, right? So, see, thing good? See in here? See if the doc is good, y'all. Ready to come in. How we doing, sir? Still getting it together, or is everything good? Nope. Back out of there again. What's the main source for iron hemoglobin synthesis? Got something to show you for that. This is my main source. I get this a lot in the juices that I buy, and it grows quite wild everywhere. Dandelion. A lot of people go out there looking for all these different herbs that will get them what it is that they need, but dandelion grows almost everywhere I've been so far. Let's see, how we doing, Doc? Good in there, still working out the technical difficulties. Might still be working it out. But if you can hear me, Doc, just give me a thumbs up when you feel like you're ready. I know you're still checking some things out. Yeah, dandelion is or dandelion, not dandelion, right? Dandelion is just the not only is it good, but it's one of the things I can get my hands on very fast. So you got to work within, you know, within the situation that you're in. See if we can pull with that. How we doing, sir? Booted him out again. He really trying to work it out. But yeah, so and just remember, iron is your magnetism. That's your ability to draw the electrons into your body so that the electrons can circulate, so that you have power for the system that's going on. Now, when it comes to the intelligence of your body, that's where being luminous comes in. That's where phosphorus and light come in. So the intelligence, the thing that makes the body have programming to work, would be your light. So it's primary. The electricity powers the system to make it work via the symbiotic relationship with mitochondria, a little bacteria that's in your body. And the mitochondrial DNA, remember, that comes from the mother. Cellular DNA, that comes from the father. So the two in unison give you everything you need for your body structure and its ability to recycle the intelligence or the light. You start to lose light, your body is losing the intelligence for it to be able to operate. You lose the electricity, you're losing the power for said operations to actually happen. So there's the intelligence, and then there's the powering mechanism, and then there's the machinery itself. So the light, the intelligence, the electricity, the thing that powers the intelligence, and then you have the mechanism itself, aka proteins, which are made up of amino acids. So when people talk about proteins, they're talking about amino acids. So if you, because remember, all your foods break down into things. Your carbohydrates, citric acid, your proteins, amino acids, your fats, fatty acids. So there's always a breakdown product that makes up the bigger item. And the more you said, is chondrous a good source of phosphorus? Chondrous crispus is a good source of anything that builds bone. So calcium, phosphorus, you might even get a little bit of strontium in there. You're going to, because remember, it's a bank. So it's not just going to have those common things, it's going to have a little bit of the other things too to kind of make it work. Silica, right? All right, one more baby broccoli. Sorry. Rain this out. Now, if you're looking for a good source of phosphorus, besides the chondrous crispus, if you need something local, try and get you a coconut. Coconuts tend to have plenty of potassium and phosphorus. And remember, potassium is how you stun the issues that come with sodium. So just understand that digestion is extremely important. That's on the more on the obvious side. But keep in mind, at the same time, mental is also controlled by your perception. So for one to know that there is a mental health disorder that they can tell, you know, I feel depressed, I feel anxious and stuff like that. Just the knowledge that that's the case is a little bit of a help to you versus someone who doesn't even know that's the problem and they're just kind of going with the treadmill, right? Where things get much worse. So one of the starts of solving the problem is to actually know that the problem exists and admit that it exists. So you can have a method of tracking how to solve it. You can't feel what's going on with your body. It's impossible to stop the problem that's actually going on. That's why pain is actually important, because pain helps you gauge what's going on with the area. Now, once you're certain of what's going on with the area, you usually decide to go get some painkillers, because while you're trying to solve the problem, you're not trying to sit there and remain in pain. So, but then at the same time, there's a limit to that. Painkillers too long, because painkillers are turning off something that makes your body work. And since your body is a self-feedback mechanism, it's constantly feeding back information. It's a push and pull. When one thing pushes or pulls, it automatically causes another system to know what's going on, and a chain reacts around the body. So that's very important to understand. That's why you don't really You'll rarely ever hear me talking about like, oh, this is important, that is important. Everything in the body is important. Right, peoples. There's our broccoli. So we have our green cut up. Set this to the side. Wanted to remember, question that was asked is the source of iron that I'm able to get on a regular basis. The strongest one, dandelion greens. Other things you can use that have like zinc and iron in it, certain nuts and seeds. Measure some of this out, because again, we're doing the vegan mac and cheese at the same time that I do. I'm measuring the cup. I'm blind, I know I just had it. Here we go. So, start off, I need about 3 cups of this almond milk. One more cup. Now, I might need 1 more cup of the mac and cheese, so leave this around. Ready for whenever I need it. Stir up this macaroni so it doesn't solidify. Do I supplement with any of the doc supplements? Yes, I do. Based on budget, I kind of move around between the bitters, the Mama Tonics, and the Blue Magic. Now, obviously, if you buy Mama Tonics, you usually get it in the detox or the 40-day fruit fast package, so it'll come with the chemiluminescence. Back in the building again, trying to work it out. Hopefully, it don't drop again. Let's see. How we doing, Doc? We working it out? Still working it out? Let me know you can hear me at least while you're there. I see the mic is on. Trying to make sure I can hear you. So, part of the mac and cheese, you're going to want to have some paprika. I'm actually going to use 2 types. I'm going to use regular and a little bit of smoked. And now we'll use that homemade chili. Italian seasoning.
Okay. You can hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can hear you now.
There we go. There we go.
Had to work the kinks out.
Well, you know, it's Ocean's first Thanksgiving.
Okay.
You know, so there's that, and then I had a lot of other, you know, I told everybody free consultations for the month by text message.
It was hitting you up.
586-298-5000, 586-298-5000. They was definitely hitting me up. And then I had told somebody a couple of weeks ago that I was going to do a buy one, get one free, but I think I was halfway sleepy and just talking out of my rectum. And they called me to task on it. So we doing a Black Friday buy one, get one free on the sea moss gel, the Blue Magic for the people. But no.
Out there in the world, buy one, get one free on the sea moss gel. hop into it.
No. It's a lot going on right now, though, Marv. It's
Mhm.
I was so into the American Healer documentary, and everything going on with that. And then, just so many things, so many doors start opening up from that space. But like it's, I had to put some stuff on hold and get back in the bunker. You know what I'm saying? It's rough right now. The numbers are going up on the situation demic. A lot of people are not really doing well. A lot of people are not doing well right now. So,
Yep, that's why I told people, I was like, better let it marinate. People start feeling like they had victory too fast over it. I'm like, that thing's still there floating. It's just that everything went back to normal, and because you stop paying attention to it, you think things ain't still going on.
nah, bro.
I think I might do a 4th cup, extra creamy. All right, so to the peoples out there, like I said, right now I'm gonna get back to cutting in a second. I'm just getting the mac and cheese, vegan mac and cheese stuff together. Adding so what I had was, you boil your macaroni, you get it to the al dente phase. Once you do that, throw it into a colander so it can drain, right? See if y'all can see that. Yep. Throw it in there so it can drain. And then after it drains, you get a second pot. And for the sake of the cheese, you're going to do almond milk. Now, I normally get the unsweetened regular, but all I could get was the extra creamy, which is cool with me. It just means that the cheese sauce will be a little bit thicker. You get a bottle of that, and you do 3 to 4 cups, and then you start heating it up.
Come on,
And
boy.
once it starts to get close to the boiling point, that's when you're going to add paprika to it, some Italian seasoning, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and then when it starts to get to the boiling point, that's when you're going to stir in your vegan cheese. I do not recommend, at least with certain vegan cheeses, dumping that joint right on top of the macaroni because, I don't know, it just looks like when you bake it, it looks like dried strands because there's not a lot of liquid in it. So usually I'll take the cheese and put it in a separate bowl and add a little bit of water and stir it and then put it on top so it actually melts and becomes creamy.
Let's go, Marv. Let's go.
Right, isn't it? So, all right, so good. So while I'm waiting for that to come up to a boil, I am going to start cutting my next thing. So for the stir fry, pretty much all of these things, it's up to you guys how much of any individual thing you want in. Me, I like spice, so I'm gonna get about a 2-inch block of ginger. Right.
2-inch block of what?
2-inch block of ginger right here. Put it up to the close-up end, this joint.
Okay.
About 2-inch size. Some of y'all can't take the zing, so
They need to get a little zow. If they can't take the zing, they need a little zow.
yup. So since I'm not juicing, I don't know, some of the Indian people that I see cooking, they kind of like, they do a rough like skin on this and they keep some of the skin in there. Me, I take most of it off. So there we go. So took the skin off that. And I'm gonna set that aside because we're gonna mince that down.
What is that you're making right now, Mom?
This is I'm cutting this stuff up for the stir fry, while at the same time I got ingredients for the vegan mac and cheese in the background. I didn't plan to make that on live stream, but since the timing is here, I'm still letting that hang in the background. So before this stir fry is done, you'll probably see the vegan mac and cheese when it's done. So, so the next thing we're gonna cut, this is the raw turmeric. This stuff will stain the hell out of your hands. That's how you know the pigment in it is the real deal. This could be used to make like certain paints, you know, if you do certain extractions from it, because the pigment in it is that good. So in this case, I'm not going to use a lot of turmeric, maybe about 3/4 of an inch block. I'm going to skin that down because I'm going to mince that up too.
Mom, you got your phone?
My phone is actually doing the second cam. So the one where I'm like, you can physically see my entire setup. That's my phone. The side cam, the close up on the cutting board, I actually have I'm actually pointing to it right now, but that's a Logitech camera. Now, if I want to have a third, then my laptop would be the third one. The quality's not as good, but see. Not quite hot yet. So let's keep rocking. All right, next thing, let me get a small bowl because now I'm about to start mincing up all of the small herbs, basically, right? So we have our ginger here. See what y'all talking about in the chat. George want to come in here.
I'm about to say, George talking about George talking about some turkey and what he said, turkey and lamb chops.
Turkey and lamb chops, y'all. You know, he was he hit me up last night. He was talking about if he marinated it, what he gonna marinate it in? You know, that's what
No. Listen, let me tell you what I fed my dog today. Actually, I could show y'all. I made a video. Let me know when you got a minute so I could run some videos.
Okay.
But we don't want to miss too much of the recipe though, so you got to let me know when you got spots in between.
Okay. Well, right now.
But I would definitely come over to your house, George, and pick up some of like all of the meat stuff. Like I got a couple of neighbors that been offering me stuff for years, and I'd be like, no, we vegan. But now that I have my puppy, everything is a go. So I would love to give my dog a real human grade. What he said? Lamb chop?
Yeah, lamb chops and turkey wing.
Turkey wing kind of, regular. But lamb chop, my baby will love a lamb chop now. I gave her raw salmon this morning. I mean, it was a bunch of stuff in there, but meat-wise, you know what I'm saying? Raw salmon. She had the cow's neck. I forgot what the technical name is, but I gave her the neck, some other stuff, something else. Had a couple of different. I try to make sure that I give her good. Like I mess around on my Instagram all the time. I say my vegan dog eats meat. Or I say Ocean, the vegan dog that eats meat. I don't believe in dogs being vegan. They're not meant for that.
Yeah, the stomach not built for that.
Yeah, they're omnivores at best, and not even really omnivores. They really canines, but every species on this planet has a need for fiber. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, um, now cats are different. Cats cannot be vegan. You know what I'm saying? But a dog, you can overwork yourself and spend way too much money and create a healthy vegan diet for a dog.
Right.
Um, no, your dog, you know what I'm saying? Your dog wants some flesh. You know what I'm saying? That's a baby. That's a domesticated wolf. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
they want some flesh. So I don't play with my dog. I need my dog to be nice and healthy and lean and strong and all of those things. So she get what she's supposed to have.
Is Ocean a boy or girl?
Girl.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to terminology right.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more lucrative to have a girl, or it doesn't matter?
When you say lucrative,
Like economically, I guess. If people are running around, like if they're breeding and they're trying to find
yeah, it
dogs to
depends.
breed.
It depends. Yeah, it depends. It's no real difference between a boy and a girl because you want to have a girl to start your family of dogs.
Right.
You want to have a girl. That's going to be the center of your breed, so to speak. But if you're just trying to make money, no, you can have the puppies with the girl, but you have the responsibility, even though you get the lion's share of the money. Or you could just have your male dog stud, and although you get less responsibility, you just pick up your cash and go. Your dog drop off semen, and it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, take him to the vet. The vet massage him and get him together, get the sperm from him, and So it's I would say it's probably easier to have a boy. It's probably easier to have a boy, but girls are better for children. So I needed that. Like temperament was probably the number one feature for me because I needed a dog that was highly intelligent. Like that was the main thing for me. I needed a really, 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 really like super cerebral, one in a lifetime kind of dog. And honestly, the universe just heard and answered and sent me what I asked for. Because yeah, Ocean, she'd be kicking ass. Yeah, every time I enroll her, and every time we go to classes or we take a challenge, she do it. So now, as a service dog, when we out places, a lot of people are surprised that she behaves the way she behaves and she works the way she works at 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the youngest age that a dog could really start working. But yeah. But it's also time though. It's also time, how much time you put into a pet and just being realistic about it. I had a couple of unsuccessful pets over the years, but more circumstantial. I had Rottweilers in my life early with my dad. He was he was a breeder. He always kept Rottweilers around. He believed that everybody's supposed to have one. Like, he'd put a Rottweiler in your house.
Yeah, I saw the live stream where you was talking about it. Like, if
Yeah,
he
yeah,
knew you, and you was a pretty upstanding person, he was going to try and get one of them in your house.
yeah. Period. You got to have a Rottweiler up in there. You know what I'm saying? So, and the crazy thing is, like I said, really a smart dog. And you know, people know that I tend to be like ahead of the learning curve. So I'm telling people now, once again, I'm ahead of the learning curve. If you are a dog person and you don't have a dog, now would be a good time to get you a dog. If you're not a dog person and well, clearly if you're not a dog person, you don't have a dog. Now would be a good time to maybe start to resensitize yourself to dogs, because the world is changing. And y'all know, listen, I share everything with y'all, so I can't do this any different, because I never want to get to be successful and then be in a space and however I got there is not only super visible but accessible to everybody else. And that's
Right.
just with anything on a small scale or a large scale, because of the way I live. So I'm telling you, the dog thing is a big, but it's an investment though. You got to spend money and you got to spend a lot of time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You got to spend a lot of time. But dogs are the future, right? So especially for black people. Especially for black people. I promise you, dogs are not a white people thing. That is a very wicked part of history. That's one of those things that they came in and took. But fast forward, because in Kemet, Sumer, all in places, like, we study everything in those places except the dogs. Blood sugar. Your dog can monitor your blood sugar for you. If you get your dog trained or you train your dog yourself, your dog can monitor your blood sugar without a machine, without a needle. Your dog can monitor if you have children that have seizures, or epileptic fits, your dog can monitor that and tell you before it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
cardiac arrests, like these are serious. Your dog can manage your medication for you, so technology is going to include canines in the future in the health universe. You know what I'm saying? And they will be respected health professionals. And you're gonna start seeing them more places. And when I say more places, I mean like people, not like dogs. Like, you're
Right.
gonna start seeing dogs on the train with you in the daytime on your way to work, on the bus with you, when you're on the Greyhound or the airplane, at the movie theater or restaurant. And you look over to the next table, there'll probably be a dog under there. Or when you're in the airplane, you look over, you might be sitting next to a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's coming, because they even got a couple of dogs that's millionaires. You know what I'm saying? And the dogs have full-time staff to manage their money. And it's a whole nother world out here, bro.
That's reminded me of when they had the cat as a mayor.
It's crazy. But
what city was that in?
But the whole thing is this is Sumerian and Kemetic culture, right? That is the thing that we need to really fully understand. Like, the main god of Kemet was Anubis, Anpu, not Osiris.
Right.
And the healing god of Sumer, her assistant was a dog, and the dog did all of the work, kind of like Felix the cat with his magic bag. So now we know, how dogs change your microbiome and all kinds of others, But yeah, so she's good though. She's good for us in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'll be seeing them bowls of food. Them jokes be serious. But that looked like you having some fun making the bowls of food. Because I swear, like that's kind of like what I'm doing right now. This ain't just like I don't just do this for live stream. Like I will do this like as a presentation for company too. If this wasn't a live stream, there's like 3 chairs in front of me. There would probably be company here like watching me do this. Like a whole damn cooking show.
Well, I think a lot of times people don't, we got to have culture. People don't understand what culture is. This is culture. You know what I'm saying? Eating, cooking, you know what I'm saying? Like that's eating and cooking is we have to have, we do everything else together. We gotta,
Yeah, and it takes time. When the food is like organic and you building stuff like the way we're doing it right now, this takes time. So this is like quality time spent. Like I know when I grew up, my dad, it wasn't the best thing in the world, but he would do things like, peel a potato, snap the edges of the string beans off, stuff like that. And then explain to me,
bro,
how to get things right on the stove and everything.
No, that's how I attack this. That's how I attack this healing thing. The conversation we're getting ready to have on the Patreon is going to be insane because we got to deal with the long COVID, the vaccines. Like we got to deal with what's going on current time. I'm going to go ahead and rank that mac and cheese shot right up there with long COVID. Hell yeah.
Gotta let it just fall down, right?
Yo, check this out though. How about this? My babies is in the kitchen doing the Thanksgiving thing while I'm on live with you.
Nice. So they hooking it up.
Man.
So they're supposed to like prepare the meal and then you're supposed to be able to sit down and critique and be surprised.
I don't know how much surprised I'll be because I had to buy stuff and whatever, but
right.
I'm always like, I don't know, my value system different. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas take pictures standing next to new cars. I take pictures standing next to my babies.
Right.
I'm always proud, you know what I'm saying? Because they're really good. Like, you got people that got a lot of chains and cars and jewelry and they rank your life. They rank your life based on the accumulation of those things and your age group. So it's like, yo, I'm 45. They're like, man, people at 45, I know this guy who's got this and this guy who's got that. And I'm like, yeah, but he don't got no kids, or he got, deformed kids, or, he got, one, his private part is not real, or, you know what I'm saying? Like his.
The fake pipes.
I'm just saying, like, we don't really understand the real values of life. You know what I'm saying? Like we got this shit upside down, twisted. Just having good, just family is, like what profit a man.
Yeah, I think I was talking with George about it. I was talking with George about it yesterday about how we end up, because it's so like between history and where we are right now, there's such a split down of all the different things happening in the world. It's like we stuck with pretty much 2 things: taking care of the next generation, making sure they educated, got the tools that they need to move forward, but it's also incumbent upon us because we could talk about, how our group looks internationally, but at the same time, for those of us who got it right, who are doing things right, we still have an obligation to bring ourselves together so that we can create a base where other people who see us say, damn, I didn't know this existed.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you seen Died Suddenly?
Die suddenly. No.
Died
No.
suddenly.
Died suddenly. No.
Okay. All right. So that's the thing. See, that's Melanin Diabetes Research Inc., man. That's why I'm trying to get people to like, hey, listen, go to American Healer, subscribe to the page. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you new, old, disgruntled, coming back, wherever you at in your journey with Dr. Inky, like you really can't afford to miss out on the stuff that we talk about at Melanin Diabetes Research, over there on American Healer. It's just daily news that we need to know. And
Right.
Died Suddenly, we talked about it on MDR News. Died Suddenly is a documentary.
Is that about adult death syndrome, the sudden adult death syndrome?
No.
Okay, different. Okay.
No. Yes, hold on. Yes and no. What I'm trying to do with the MDR News is I'm straddling a very fine line. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to keep it as close to what you would get from a traditional news space where it's just, it's just articles and facts. But then I do switch gears at conjecture, information, insight, opinion, little banter every so often.
Yeah, hold up, Vicky. Look. Right? Look, see that arm? Right?
I see the forearm action.
Yeah. Gotta make sure you show the striations while you cut the cheese. No, just go ahead. Hold up, you're gonna be like this. Be like, hold up, let me hold the knife all strong.
Wait, so listen. So now the SADS, the sudden adult death syndrome, right? That's a new thing. Well, not so new, but it's new. And the numbers are up, right? So that's over there. Woo. Over here, you have Died Suddenly. Now, Died Suddenly is funded and written by Ye's mentor that nobody really knows. And he might not even be Ye's mentor. I might just be making that up. But he is a trillionaire that starts speaking out against certain things, kind of the same road Ye went down, lost mad money in companies and blah, blah, blah. But he's still out there acting a fool. So he put his money up and he did this study, he funded this documentary on people that were dying suddenly after after having the inoculation. After having the inoculation. So now again, here's what I said on my channel, to be honest and keep it all real. The disclaimer is, even if it's a 100% made up hoax conspiracy theory story, you still need to know what's happening out there so you know how to protect you and yours.
Right.
You still got to know how to move. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why we pushing the tour dates back to, because we got to see how some stuff unravels over the next couple of months. But especially if you got children, man, and you moving around out there, or people is moving around, being in divorce court for the last 6 years, fighting for custody of my children, just listening to the stories of other people, because a lot of times you hearing everybody else's business in court. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you sitting there, but like the 20 people go before you, then you go, and everybody listening to your business like you. So the craziest thing is with the co-parenting thing, it's really a dangerous time for that. It's really a dangerous time to have structured situations where the children have to be mobile, sometimes long distances, like in these, with this stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, that ain't the play. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know everybody got to do what they got to do, but like if you close to co-parents, if you close proximity co-parenting, that's one thing. But multiple cities or multiple states over, and these different variants, and it's just so much stuff going on.
Right.
What else we was talking about on MDR News? We was talking about Biden family under investigation for human trafficking.
Oh yeah, that connection to his son.
Well, that's not really.
It's not the main thing.
Well, what I'm saying is no. I mean, just the connection to the son, like the son is the fall guy for everything Biden. So the son is the reason why Biden's allowed to be successful right now, because any dirt that pops up on Biden, he just say, "Oh yeah, well, that wasn't me, that was my son."
I know, right?
Oh, that crack that was in my pocket? No, my son had my jacket on. He had my jacket on. That's what the crack was in. No, he had my jacket on. Oh, all the millions over there in the Ukraine? No. My name on the document? Oh, no. Joe Biden Jr. Oh, you meant Junior? Yeah, no, that wasn't me. That was my son. He had went over there. I don't know what he was doing. He might have been using the crack when he was over there. He might have had the crack in Ukraine and just lost his mind. I don't know what my son was doing. So he got like an unlimited checkbook for fuck up that is just, my son, I don't understand it, bro. Crack? My man came in the office with his son smoking crack. He gave away drug paraphernalia to the black folks and Latinos in America. He ignored Puerto Rico and Mississippi while they had no water. All this is just this year. I don't know what's going on though, man. Folks still sleep. But actually, the Walmart thing kind of brung some light. You know about the Walmart, obviously.
Re-explain that to me. In the past week, there was so much stuff going on.
Bro, another reason why I'm just really trying to tell people to support the MDR News, because we don't even have anything remotely close to keeping us updated. But so you had the LGBTQ club, the alternative, community club. Their club got shot up, 5 people killed, I think. And then right after that, Walmart, a shift manager or manager of the store, he came in and he called everybody to the break room. And once everybody got in the break room, he started letting loose.
I definitely didn't hear about that.
Mm-hmm. He started letting loose. He killed about 6, 7, 8 people and then killed himself. Now, the thing that was a revelation for me was not the violence. I'm from the Bronx. The revelation for me came on Clubhouse. I was in Ion's group. Ion Fixed My Life. And they kind of was jumping between the LGBTQ story and Ion is gay, so he got a lot of gay people in there. So that's popping. That's more important. And so they were jumping back and forth between that and the Walmart story. But I got on on the stage. That's the Clubhouse lingo. I got on the stage and I was talking about mental health, mental illness. And after I got off the stage, people start coming to the stage saying that, you know, we don't necessarily know if this guy was mentally ill or not. And there was like a few people that shared that sentiment, like, yeah, you know, we don't know if this guy was mentally ill or not, and blah, 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 blah. So I not only said that they were clearly mentally ill as well, but that this is a sign of the times of the world we live in, that mental health, like we're in such a large mental health crisis. Now, we live in a world now where people believe that there is a possibility that a man who is not mentally ill, temporarily or permanently, can go to work, wait for his coworkers to get into the break room, start shooting them. Check this out. Witnesses heard him laughing while he was shooting everybody, and then shoot himself. I said, that's not possible to not be mentally ill to do that. That's not a person that's not mentally ill doesn't behave that way.
Right.
Like, well, you got to evaluate it. I said, no. See, y'all confused. You only really need to evaluate a person outside of clear action.
Right.
But once a person does a clear, like, bro, what are we talking about? We can get to the depth or maybe the exact triggers or what's the exact mental health thing or whatever. But clearly this guy is mentally ill in some shape, form, or fashion. And that told me that we in a dangerous place. We're in a dangerous place where we're in a dangerous place where that can be, you know, that can be stated and then seconded, where people is like literally seconding that motion, like, yo, word up. Yeah, that's right. We don't know if he's mentally ill. We diagnosing him from Clubhouse. I'm like, no, we're diagnosing him from shooting 7 people and then shooting himself.
Right.
That makes him mentally ill. And then one guy was really going in. He was like, man, nah, I'm telling you, you don't got to be mentally ill. You could just snap, because when the customers say this and da-da-da-da, I was like, sir, it sounds like your coworkers should be worried about you right now.
I know, right?
Like you sound like you might be, you know what I mean? I'm like, you
So
sound
you might let loose.
Because see, here's the thing. There's a psychological profile for most types of criminals. And there's a psychological profile for the copycat. And homeboy was sounding like he could be a copycat killer, because he had that, you know, that justification kind of mentality where he was trying to explain how it's possible to be sane and shoot up your job and then kill yourself. I was like, no, that's not possible. See, if he was sane and he was just like an evil, demonic person that's just wicked and he's perfectly normal but wicked, I was like, there would be a trail of destruction behind him, like Jeffrey Dahmer. Right. Jeffrey Dahmer was a sane, evil, wicked person. He was perfectly normal. He just enjoyed his wickedness. So he had a history of it, a trail of it, got arrested, got back out, got back to it. Like, he lived his life for it, found a neighborhood where he can, like, yeah. No, this guy is different. This is mentally ill. There's no trail, or at least thus far. You know what I'm saying? I could stand corrected. They could pop out tomorrow and be like, we found 6 lungs in his freezer. And then, you know, but thus far, he just seems to be a guy who, you know, did this one thing. And to me, that's clear indication that he's mentally ill. We are largely mentally ill. And I mean, I don't know. I just, you know, spending my amateur time studying the brain chemistry in epigenetics, I don't know how. I don't know how it's possible for us that live the way we do and not experience mass bouts of insanity. So that's that. Anyway, that was a long tangent, but the movie died suddenly. Like I was saying, the guy he used to be really rich, and he put this out there to do this work, and it's important that people go check it out. You got to watch it on BitChute. Now, normally me, I have a couple clips or something, but that video there is so hot. If you put a 30-second audio on that's a hot video. They don't want that video to be seen. That's way more controversial than Hebrews to Negroes.
Yeah, I would say so.
Hebrews to Negroes was like, I mean, respect to the people behind it and everything, but it was just like super basic. It wasn't for us. That was like for people who needed an introduction to that kind of information. Have you seen it?
Nah. When I saw it was I forgot when it was all hot and stuff like that. It was something that made me say, "Oh, I went back to look at the Dr. Ben, just like they had the Francis Cress Welsing versus William Shockley. They had the Dr. Ben versus the guy from the Anti-Defamation League who was Jewish, the rabbi. I went back to look at that again.
Yeah, I sat down and watched it with my children because they had too many questions, and it's 5 of them.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not doing this with y'all. We're not doing this. We're not doing this, yo. I should slap fire out of Kyrie. I'm like, no, Kyrie, you need to go on tour, champ. You need to tour around to everybody's house now and wrestle with these inquisitive children to answer all these questions you created. But no, I really, I don't know how many people share my sentiment, but a lot of us really like the respect level went through the roof for Kyrie Irving. He really went in. So, but we was already with Kyrie, even when he was tension, even when him and LeBron looked like ops, we was still like violating LeBron a little bit, supporting Kyrie. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I like Kevin Durant's response to the whole thing, where he kind of was like, "Yo, that's a grown man. Let him have his point of view." I ain't got a comment on that, Joe.
Kevin Durant has a much more simplistic view of life in general, so he always provides a matter-of-fact Baltimore moment.
Yeah. All right, so where we at with it? Y'all probably, while you was explaining what was going on, the mac and cheese, obviously extra cheesy, right? Just went into the oven. That's going to be anywhere from like 15, 25 minutes. I ain't going to leave it in there too long. I don't like mine to have a char. I do like a little crispiness. So about 15, 20 minutes max. Next up for the stir fry, now we're going to just start banging out all the veggies that's going to go in it. So next, I'm going to handle the onion. I'm going to move the fresh herbs or whatever. I'm going to move these. This is the ginger, the turmeric, and the garlic all mixed together. These can stay in a bowl by themselves because they're going to get cooked together. Everything else that I'm about to cut is going to get separated out.
All right, so since we got some time, you want to hit the share screen?
Yes, sir. You got it up?
Pause. You ready?
All right, you want?
Don't blame me now. You can't blame me. This is the way the world is. Too late to change. I can't do a thing before. On earth, and you should cut niggas' fingers off. He used to bring his fingers and ears in the eyeglass case. Talking about mad hate. Supposed to be up from my last eight. My father Bush was a kingpin. Named Brent. I had him raised as a god. Between electrons and the atom. Snatching lead patches. Smacking alternative niggas. Whatever's politically correct. I'm a learning nigga. My day one was all trained to point lead like a sharpener. My father was a mason. His father was a carpenter. My ideology reveals a dichotomy. Gangster or prophet. My psyche is psychology on top of beatboxes. A mill of detoxes. Vegan. The shoes gated. The coat. 3 foxes. It's all contradictory. You can't do shit to me. I died already. Every breath is a gift to me. Don't blame me. Don't blame me now. You can't blame me. This is the way the world made me. Don't blame me. Don't blame me now. You can't blame me. It's the way the world made me. It must be.
Period. You just gotta have the nutrients. So are you gonna pay $1,000 to have this nutrient profile circulating in your blood? Or you gonna pay $65?
Remember the blocks I bled on, the hand-to-hand grind. I'm on my saving. You still on Neanderthal time. I'm still cool with Louis and Gucci. I know what to do to spoil you. Let's go, Lock. Me and King don't talk, he mad over his bids. But me and King sold crack and guns when we was kids. The piece with the magnetic to set it. My family used to run hard. It's epigenetic. I had 3 crack spots by 12, like let me work. Plus I like girls in chesty shirts like Hefty Smurf. So listen, when my friends was getting shot, going to prison. At 13, I was a father, my position got different, you see. I taught these little niggas how to G. I learned it wasn't the white man killing niggas, it was me. My image, my likeness, my shine, the brightest. Leading my soldiers to their death like Leonidas on the block. Fiending for fiends, the cop, you the joker. More than fiends, fiend for the rock, worse than the smoker. I had a Lexus, adopted Anna that had Tony. Then God arranged for us to meet Icto. Asked Noli, he said, listen, I know you was bred to love crime, but you come from an O-negative bloodline. I understand your stance, so I'ma give you one more chance, but you gotta change your life and heal the world with plans.
This ain't nothing stays the same as. It's getting kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing. This ain't nothing stays the same as. It's seeming kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing.
Some fam is talking suicide, others operation to more medicine to survive. If I could loot the sky for dreams, the truth would hide your schemes to crucify my kings and euthanize my queens. We struggle daily.
Period. You just gotta have the nutrients. So are you gonna pay $1,000 to have this nutrient profile circulating in your blood? Or you gonna pay $65?
Remember the blocks I bled on, the hand-to-hand grind. I'm on my saving. You still on Neanderthal time. I'm still cool with Louis and Gucci. I know what to do to spoil you.
against ops. We don't even see him saying health is wealth. I reminiscing at a mausoleum ain't even a move, God. We do this too off, spinning in place like this was foosball. We ain't moving forward, wait, no. Some of us is doing that. Some of us align our spiritual up with the truest black. Some will stay 100 through the dark and have your truest back. Even in a skirmish with your brother, some will move, attack, respect, fam. After that, you should respect man. The price of life has gotten deeper than some canned spam. The net of rule is an expression of the science as above, so below. Change your life when you apply that.
This ain't nothing stays the same as. It's getting kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing. Say nothing stays the same as. It's seeming kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing. Say nothing stays the same as. It's getting kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing. Say nothing stays the same as. It's seeming kinda strange. It's got you feeling crazy. The situation's life changing.
Remember the blocks I bled on, the hand-to-hand grind. I'm on my Sabi. You still on Neanderthal time. I'm still cool with Louis and Gucci. I know what to do to spoil you.
We may not all be born with money, but we're all born with time. Time to invest. How are you teaching your children to invest? Time is more valuable than money. Are you teaching them to invest in themselves? Or are you teaching them to invest in material? Material that's immaterial. God is music. Period. You just gotta have the nutrients. So are you gonna pay $1,000 to have this nutrient profile circulating in your blood? Or you gonna pay $65?
Remember the blocks I bled on, the hand-to-hand grind. I'm on my Sabi. You still on Neanderthal time. I'm still cool with Louis and Gucci. I know what to do to spoil you.
Period. You just gotta have the nutrients. So are you gonna pay $1,000 to have this nutrient profile circulating in your blood? Or you gonna pay $65 and you get all these herbs?
Back from commercial break.
Yeah, what that plate look like?
Right now, just doing the individual slicing. So, we already got the herbs and yellow bell pepper and onions so far. Right now, I'm cutting the red. After the red, we're going to cut, where's it at? We're going to cut up partial jalapeno and then the big red. We're going to get our purple pigment in.
Yeah, I love that. I love that cabbage. I hate them jalapenos.
Only issue I got is I keep cutting them and they're touching my eye.
I have to compliment you. You always do a really good job of making sure that you get a good variety of pigment in.
Yes, sir. Colors.
Like me, even the people now, I'm sitting here eating broccoli and celery, like like that's more in alignment with what John Q. Public does. If we eat fruits and vegetables subconsciously, we don't know. We stick to one or two colors and we don't get a wide variety.
Right. Yeah, I try and pay attention to that. Somebody asked me, they was like, what about blue? I was like, unless you buy the blue magic, the only blue you get is the screen that I'm looking at.
Man, I better get it. But
I do it. Yeah.
The blue vervain has some magical properties. In fact, that's going to be part of the conversation we have on Patreon after this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going in. I ain't gonna lie. I really like that clothing designer.
Which one? This one?
The one, yes, sir. So, polyibic.com is the proud sponsor of this lovely multicolor hoodie where it looks like one arm is invisibly magical because this sleeve is green. So you don't see my arm, you just see my hand. That could look a little creepy if you have children around, right? That could be creepy. You know what I'm saying? It could get creepy, but the drip is phenomenal. The driptuation, the hat, obviously. I think this is my favorite collection. I don't know how many people have been following Ezra and I growing the Polyibic brand, but we've been making like little collections. So far, this is my favorite. Matter of fact, I want to show y'all these two shirts just in case y'all haven't seen them. I know you did, Mar. Oh, chill, bro. All right, so hold on. I was looking for one shirt and then I found some other shirts. So this right here was my original favorite, bon goût. Bon goût is a French term for taste. You know what I'm saying? So this right here was like, and I get off into my greens, I guess, a part of the healing thing, but this was like my first favorite. I don't know what Ezra was doing with this. I think Ezra was into his like 80s drug dealer shit. He came out with these, but they wound up being dope though. I wound up loving it. You know what I'm saying? But he surprised me with that one. These are part of the shoe line that we have. And man, people could really replace Nike with us. But this is the front. God is music, and then you see the shoe under the and then you see on the sleeves, Genius Lives Matter. And then on the back it says, melanin is killing black people. that. And then this one, I honestly didn't think we would top the God is Music. But this one right here, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Respect the healer, not the shooter.
Mhm.
So, yes. Polyibic.com. Now, that's the other beautiful thing about this is that polyibic is a word I made up. So nobody knows how to spell it. So this wound up being a really dope shirt just for utility purposes that Ezra came up with. Outside of just the style, but POLYIBIC.com. POLYIBIC.com.
Every now and then, you know.
Well, I was in my bag and we were studying the languages, and then we got off into the language of the cells, and we kind of never went back to the mundane languages, which we will at some point. But studying the languages, a lot of people were asking, like, if we were trying to be polyglots and all of this kind of stuff. And I was like, nah, it's not even really important that people learn these languages to the point of conversation. We're just doing our daily exercises to make sure that we get the new nerves and the new brain cell growth, because only difficult abstract study, like, specifically learning a new language, allows your brain to continue to stay young past 40 years old. In some cases, they see even past 30 years old. So it's not something that is actually even optional. So the people in the future will all, like, there will be no people that speak one language. Like, to speak one language, they're going to think it's like, that's the equivalent in the future. That's going to be the equivalent of how we look at people that can't read. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, how do you not learn how to read all the time? Like, what do you mean you can't read? You're a grown man, you can't read. Like, that's how people are going to look at you in the future if you only speak English or you only speak this or that. Like, you got to be multilingual to some extent.
Get your lingual game together. All right. We have everything's cut. Stir this in so people can see the color mix. Stir that in. And you get to see the whole cutting board.
Hey, gentlemen. Somebody got to take this lady outside. Shit. This fucking dog.
Outside.
Bro, this dog was mad small when I got her.
All right. So let's raise the view count for the video. Got the dog in there.
Take her out front so she can peek. Hold on, see if she wants some carrots or some Ocean. You need some fiber, champ.
Here, I'll get for one. Back already.
Come.
Cool.
Want that? Eat it.
It's not a bone.
Ocean said
like it's a relic or something.
She said these not on the Sabi approved list, so she's not eating carrots.
Gotta be on the Sabi approved list. All right, so we already get it cracking now. So what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna fill a pot up with water. We got broccoli, right? So for those who aren't familiar with doing this quote unquote technique, Doc, you heard a shocking before, right?
Say that again.
They call it shocking.
Shocking?
No, shocking, like being shocked.
Yeah.
So you heard of that term when it comes to food?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Want to make sure, right? So
Hell yeah.
those who are at home who are not familiar with, you take a pot of boiling water and any green veggie that looks dull. And when the water is boiling, you throw your green veggie in there for 45 seconds. Kind of loosens up the proteins a little bit. Right after you pull it off the heat, you throw it immediately in a bowl of cold water and you let it sit for a little bit. And you'll notice that the color will turn vibrant green. Now, you don't have to just do that with green food. You can do that practically with anything here, but a lot of the stuff I got here got a lot of water content in it. So once you slice it and that water kind of leaks out, it already begins the quote unquote sprouting kind of position, even though these are not seeds. I'm just kind of using the term. So get our pot of water, put that here, and let's set that to boiling. Meanwhile, I'm going to adjust camera 1 to move it over to the stove. So now we can see the action happen over in the stove area. So give me a second.
Let it go. Relax. Don't start tearing up my office space. Sit down right there. Sit. Sit. Down. Good girl. Relax it.
All right, so now we got our pot view. And right now I'm heating this up. This one of them stoves, they got the double ring on it, so it'll go to boiling faster than usual, let's just say. Small amount of salt. We're gonna wait now. I know some of y'all probably noticed when we was coming over here, y'all saw these pies right here. That's all vegan too. So DeVita hooked them joints up with the sweet potatoes. We also get locally grown shipments weekly. So this is one of the sweet potatoes we got. So let's get this up. Let me get my on the way a little bit. Get a bowl of ice water.
So let me ask you while you're on the grind, what do you think it is? What do you think is the number one thing that people need to know about the situation-demic?
The number one thing people need to know about it.
Yep. And while we here, anybody in the chat room that has any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll answer what I can answer here, and then anything else we'll continue, or I'll begin on the Patreon.
So the most important thing people need to know, a detailed response or a fast response?
Right now people dying, Marv, so it's just whatever you I'm serious, just whatever. Like so, the detailed and the slow. I think people need they need everything.
I would say the most important thing is, and it's kind of weird because a portion of it, you know, you want to be more preventative about it. So it's a little rough now, but exposure, your body having a diverse exposure to different environments so that it's already prepared for when something comes in and it has to defend itself. But at the same time, a lot of what I think people need to understand about it is more preventative, like being ready so that when these things come along, your body's in the most optimal shape to be able to deal with it. So I'd say when it comes to the situation, if you're moving around, be aware of your surroundings and how people look. Because some people got to be out there, some people don't have to be out there, but you should be aware of how people look. Like you at work and somebody's claiming they just got a cold. You know, you gotta be a little, you gotta take a little more precaution to that now, because now that we're back in the comfort level, people are doing anything to not say they have COVID.
Well, what I'm thinking is, and it's kind of complicated, but it's not. But I'm gonna have this conversation with the family. Oh, come on, you just made a mess out of those. I'm not giving you no more. Eat them. She was eating them at first. And now she's just chewing them up, making a mess on the floor. And now she's ready to get out of here and sneak out of my office and go run with the children again.
She doing scratching up against the door or something?
I got a hardwood floor. So she laying down on the floor, so her chain be hitting the floor heavy.
Oh, okay. So you can finish answering the question about the situation. And then I forgot to remind you, we was talking last time on the live stream about the zoomies. So we'll go back, hit the zoomies at some point too.
Yo, bro, my dog was chasing her tail today for the first time ever. That shit was hilarious, but she wouldn't let me really get a good video of her. She knew she was doing some dumb shit. And so every time I kept pulling the camera out, she kept stopping and just looking at me like, nah, you trying to violate me. And I'm looking at her like, absolutely right. But she was chasing her tail looking crazy. That looked crazy. But really, man, I can't stress it enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't realize I'm really telling everybody a serious thing. Like, get a dog. Like, a dog is like, because for instance, if I was to say this, right? If I was to say there's a machine that you could buy and you bring it into your crib like an air filter, like there's a machine you could buy, like there's a microbiome filter.
Right.
Like you sit it next to your bed and, you know, it just changes your microbiome, you know, every time you next to it and upgrade your you know, like that sounds like some crazy futuristic technology.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch, and then dogs can help your immune system make a jump. They could bridge a gap between, you know, a bug that might have jumped on you and your body wouldn't have had any context. She ate them joints?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Huh. That's why she next to me again? Yeah, you feed her them.
All right, so we up here. We got the,
She'll chew them and then not finish eating it.
so it's not a roaring boil, but I'm gonna dump now because it's extra hot. Let's get that in there. Gonna work these around for about 45 seconds. So they get that hot water on them.
I'm getting me a nice good bit of roughage in right now so I could do me some pure ratchetness later on. I'm building up the fiber for it now. I know people at home looking like, what is Inky doing? He is just eating the driest raw vegetables ever.
Yeah, exactly.
Method to my madness, people. Trust me. You do some dry veggies, knock you out a nice little half a gallon wallow of water. You be ready to do you some shit that you ain't supposed to do.
Oh, know what I learned? Know what I learned to keep on the fly? I like the fact that Whole Foods make the pre-cut melons like cantaloupe and honeydew. And sometimes I'll have blueberries and strawberries on deck too. I keep at least all 4 of those in the refrigerator.
Bro, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Blueberries was already a nasty thing in my house. No, I'm serious. Like nasty. Like it goes down. It goes down in the Inky household. And blueberries is a potential, and bringing it back to the damn dog. That's her favorite. That's her favorite thing to eat overall, bar none.
Blueberries.
What? I was like, no, this is not. I was like, this is not real. How I get this dog? But every time, and I be testing her. So you see them plates? I use each one of those plates as a learning opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning the psychology, her palate, like just things about dogs you wouldn't. So I put the food in there and I see what she go after first.
Yeah, there's the antioxidant right there. Let me get that.
Bro, even if I go get her some fresh cooked fish, it don't matter what it is. And fish, she like fish, but blueberries number 1.
Nice.
And blue magic number 2. That's the only thing that give the blueberries a run. She like it more than me. Cause I can't eat them big spoonfuls. Woo! Blue magic is too strong for me. And I don't feel the need, like some people be feeling the need to ego Jackson it up. Like they be feeling the need to show me they can handle like a whole tablespoon. I'm like, you need to show me that, champ, because I'm not gonna ever have a whole tablespoon. Period. It's too strong, man. It's really made to be like a family thing. Like I made it with value in mind. So it's made because like here, I got to make, anytime I make a smoothie, it's got to be 2 whole full blenders. It's not like I could just make a little 8-ounce drink or 12 or a little half a blender. Like I can't do that here. When I make a smoothie, it's 2 whole blenders because everybody wants some. So for me, that was the main thing. Like not having a CMOS that doesn't work for a family. Or it puts you on some type of crackhead budget where you out $40, $50 every other day trying to keep up with CMOS demands.
Right.
Like, yo, this shit crazy here.
All right, peoples, the mac and cheese is coming out. Now, this saute pan that I got, what we're going to do is every different pigment is going to hit this saute pan once before everything goes together. And that's the catch. So we're going to get this another bowl right here. First thing we're going to hit is the onions. And why the onions first? Because if you're talking about getting your colors correct, then you can't put onions in after something orange or purple goes in because it'll change the color. So we give everything a light saute, and then we combine it in a separate bowl so that when it's all combined, then it's ready to go into the main wok. Oh, you can get them, you can let them know through here. Okay. All right, so that's number one. Hit the pan. We got the onions. Then we do a tiny bit. For each one, we do a tiny bit of olive oil, just a tiny bit, not a lot. And then we get the next lightest color, which is yellow peppers. Woo!
Bob, I think you should get a little degree or certification.
Which one?
Culinary.
Rock that. Could definitely do that. Definitely wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah, you should. You got the knack for it.
You know, I've been in a part of photographing. I've been in a couple classes. You know, of course, I'd be eavesdropping hard.
Yeah.
When I would go to the tech schools, I would always do the culinary class photos last, just so I could hang out and hear what they got to say.
Mm.
Don't do them first, because then you got to rush and get the other photos.
Yeah, I think you're the.
Now, for those at home, y'all don't have to, but if you want, you don't have to wait until you get everything in the wok to add a little bit of salt, or in the case where you're not adding salt, you can add, there go the kelp, sea kelp flakes. Not the same thing, but just still an option, right?
It's a better thing.
Yep. All right, now we got the red in there. Pass that. And next, the last one we're gonna hit is the cabbage. Actually, I don't even need to do this. I could just go straight to. At this point, I can go straight to the wok. Why? Because I'm about to do the herbs, and then the cabbage goes on top, and then everything else is pretty much done. So that'll be ready to go. So I'm gonna transfer the olive oil over to the wok. Sit that aside. Let this pick up a little bit of heat. And once this picks up heat, we're gonna hit it with the herb mixture, with the jalapeno, with the turmeric, with the ginger, with the garlic, because we know when you put some oil in the pan and you hit herbs on top of it, aromatic. Gotta be aromatic.
If it ain't aromatic, it ain't real.
Right. Nothing worse. And most of y'all at home, y'all should know. I know y'all buy y'all seasonings on a regular basis, but people be trying to hold on to seasonings as long as they can. Check your cabinet, crack them joints open. If you don't get a nice essence when you like a nice distance from it, them joints starting to lose their potency. So you're gonna wind up adding double and triple to get the taste you want. So you might as well go ahead and re-up. Yes, sir.
I need some ice.
Now at this point, now we got the herbs in. We're gonna start building. I got nice looking pans at home. Don't be hitting them Jones with metal. Get you something that won't damage your pots and pans. Or get stained like a strong stainless steel. So we almost ready to bring the broccoli in, and then the cabbage in, and then the rest of the veggies in to finish it off. We're gonna hit it with some seasonings while it's in here. That's when the dry comes in, and then we're gonna be ready to plate up. Broccoli. Yeah, I get shake most of the water off of these joints too. I don't want too much of that.
Chase did some stir fry.
Oh, he stir fried?
Man, that thing is seasoned air.
I need him to hook up a plate and take a picture so I can see his work in all his glory.
Oh no, they weird this year. That's what I wanted. You know, that's what we kind of do all the time.
Yep.
So they voted me out this year. They was like, "No, Dad, we don't want to cook for the internet. You got Marv already." I was like, "All right, well, we still got to do our little CMOS video."
I know, right?
So
Awesome.
I got them to go on camera for that. Oh, you bringing her back to me, huh? Sit. Lay down. Lay it down. Stop biting my microphone. Come.
Oh, veggies. Now we building color now. The pan is looking mighty colorful already.
But I'll tell you what Chase done got accustomed to doing.
What's that?
Splashing a little, you know, he's splashing the sea moss everywhere now. That's his new thing.
I got the sea moss aficionado.
Put that gel up in there. I think at first I was driving them crazy to do it. You know, like the parental thing, like, put that sea moss, you better put that sea moss in there.
Right.
And then after a while, I think they just got accustomed to the taste. And now it's just routine.
Right, last but not least, purple cabbage.
Ooh-wee. We did not have purple cabbage. We did have some Brussels sprouts though.
I got those in the refrigerator right now. They already ready. I just got to reheat them.
Yeah, we had some Brussels sprouts.
What y'all did them straight, or did y'all add anything extra?
What you mean?
Like you know, you might like, for instance, I got like a maple glazed Brussels sprout in the refrigerator.
Oh, he does his own little thing. He does his own thing. So he you know, I don't know. He does his own thing though. He be in there mixing lemon juice and herbs and all kind of shit. You know, he in there doing, you know, he does his thing. So it ain't plain. He, you know, he do his little thing. He be making a big fucking mess, and you know.
You gotta remember the rule of thumb. They teach people this in the culinary school: clean as you go.
Yeah, he definitely skipped that chapter. His philosophy is, I got brothers and sisters for that.
Let them handle it.
Man, so he
you clean.
Right. So he think he supposed to just be a one-man wrecking ball without. And then I got this lady. What you doing there, lady?
All right. So at this point, bringing over all the fixings. So we got the turmeric. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of that. Now we hitting it with the dry part. We already got the official wet ingredients. Now we hit it with the dry. Ginger next. Hit it with some of that.
That's what you need.
We got the onion granules, just a little bit of that, not too much. We got the garlic granules. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of that, not too much.
I'll be back, man.
This part is optional for most people. If y'all like a little bit of heat, I like the dotted color that I get added from the red chili flakes.
I might be in and out, but just in case I don't see y'all again till Patreon time, because we go there soon. Peace and love. Have a safe, happy holiday. Safe though, safe. Emphasis on safe.
Yes, indeed.
But we getting ready to close the book on this new situation thing though. Once I detail it, we gonna walk all the way through it. The situation, how it works, how to shut it down, blah 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 blah. We going in.
Nice. All right, so that's the continuance. So the stir fry is pretty much done. Y'all can see it here in the pan. Basically, once I turn the heat off, this is gonna sit here until my company gets here, and then we gonna eat. So I thank y'all for stopping in the Marvin's kitchen for Thanksgiving once again. The doc will be on the Patreon channel for the continuance of the show for the night. That is your stir fry. Feel free to mix all kinds of colors and stuff y'all want together. Just make sure to keep the rules in mind. Make sure everything's healthy. Make everything as fresh as possible. It ain't gotta be perfect. It's just gotta be as healthy as possible. The things you know that are healthy. And y'all will be all right. Oh, you want to move that? Yeah. The spices get you thinking about Indian cuisine, don't it? All right, so here's your close-up, peoples. Look at that. Colors is good. Fiber, it's all fiber. There's no meat in there. All the veggies have fiber in it. Skin intact for most, except for the ginger, right? Obviously. Color, looking good. Just make sure you keep the presentation tight when you take your tongs, right? And you put it on the plate. So with that being said, peoples, let me bring this back over so we can sign off. All right, so we back up here. So that's right, people. So that's the stir fry. Like I said, make sure you choose the freshest ingredients you can find. Remember, when it comes to herbs, if you get the raw, organic herbs, like I have the turmeric, the ginger, and the garlic, you can also couple that with the dry, fresh, dry ingredients, right? Make sure that when you open it, yeah, you can smell it. Make sure that the aromatics is good on all your herbs. Otherwise, it's time to re-up. So until next time, guys, thanks for joining me for Thanksgiving. That's your stir fry. Mac and cheese is already done. I'm waiting for my company. I'm about to eat. I hope y'all are doing the same. Enjoy your holiday. I'll catch you guys in the next live show.